90 Day Fiancé star Matt Brani's recently dropped a bombshell on Jasmine, and the latter's world is already spinning. He confessed to making a big move without even telling Pineda, and this confession ended up shaking her to her very core. But that's not all. While Jasmine is still in shock, her reaction was something that viewers didn't really see coming. Matt and Jasmine had an explosive meltdown, and it was evident that there was some serious trouble in paradise. The latter showed Brani's his place, and things went downhill. Is this true? What is this all about? What did he reveal? Keep on reading to learn more about this controversy because the tea is really hot. 90 Day Fiancé, Matt Brani's is done begging for love? 90 Day Fiancé star Matt Brani's made it very clear that he didn't want Jasmine Pineda as his friend and was willing to have something more serious. Hence, he began putting in efforts and was expecting the same in return. However, it seems that Jasmine isn't reciprocating, and Matt is visibly hurt. He recently commented on one of Pineda's posts and admitted that he was done begging for love. Jasmine lost her calm and wondered why Matt had to make such public comments. She claimed that the latter was making her look like the bad guy. The celeb further asked Brani's to come and pick his mail from her house. All of this made it clear that they weren't living together, and things weren't in their favor. 90 Day Fiancé, Matt Brani's drops a shocking confession on Jasmine Pineda. 90 Day Fiancé star Matt Brani's has pulled out all the stops to win Jasmine Pineda's heart. He took her on a dreamy horse-drawn carriage ride. The celeb further assured her that he would never turn his back and they could make things work. Matt then took advantage of the situation and slipped off. Jasmine admitted that it was weird for her because she was still attached to her past. She explained how she only considered Matt as her and now he is on the verge of becoming something more than that. The celeb further gave Brani's a fair warning about her temperamental side. But Matt was quick to brush it off because he clearly had a crash course in living with her. However, here comes the main curveball. He revealed that he had a job opportunity tied to a business idea for which he would have to relocate to Florida. Matt further noted that he had already signed a lease and was set to move in just a few weeks. It surely was a lot for Jasmine to take in. She clapped back on how Brani should have told this tale to her ages ago, and wondered how she actually allowed him to take off her wedding ring. She explained that she still had a lot to figure out. Jasmine said, "My marriage is irrevocably broken." However, Brani's is in no mood to take any excuses. He made it clear that if Gino was the person who came to her mind first, then she should live with Gino. However, Jasmine didn't give a reply to Gino, and they had an explosive blowdown. What do you think? Do let us know in the comments section. Keep coming back to the... In the latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé, Manan has accused Anthony of being a delusional person. Anthony and Manan's heated conversation about their plan to move has caught the fans buzzing. Manan's blunt skepticism has worried fans as Anthony tries to reassure her about their upcoming life changes. Anthony has been struggling financially, and he attempted to maintain an honest conversation with Manan. She became visibly frustrated, repeatedly calling Anthony Delulu, short for delusional. Tension between the two continues to grow daily, and viewers are left wondering whether their relationship can survive. But why did Manan get so upset and call Anthony delusional? Keep reading to find out. Manan and her husband, Anthony, from 90 Day Fiancé, have recently decided to start fresh as they plan to relocate to France. But the move doesn't please Manan. All of her past wounds, which her family had caused, resurfaced. She said she loves her family, but they have been very judgmental about it. She recalls how her father used to demean her and ask, "How could a girl like you marry a man like that?" She felt as though she would never be enough. This has really strained Manan's relationship with her family. But despite all the hurt, Manan admitted that the American dream is actually killing me, and confessed that she is really unhappy with her life. But she also knew that it would come at a cost. She believes her marriage requires her full attention and makes it her top priority. For that reason, she commits fully to doing whatever it takes. 90-Day Fiancé, Manan calls out Anthony as delusional. Fans can't believe it. On the latest episode of 90-Day Fiancé, viewers watched Manan grow frustrated with Anthony's optimism. Manan and Anthony discussed their plans as they decided to take a leap and move to France. Anthony, like an optimist, tried to assure Manan that everything would be okay as they settled into living with her parents, cutting rent costs, and planning for his future job once his French improved. The couple has been undergoing financial struggles as they try to navigate their life. Anthony tries to maintain a positive outlook about the move, as he will be resuming his part-time marketing job, while she will start looking for jobs that could take her elsewhere. However, Manan remains unconvinced. She cuts him off with the viral word delulu, short for delusional, sparking laughs and debates across social media. Anthony tried to reform his attempt as motivated, but she was consistent in calling him delusional. The back-and-forth exchange of conversation between Manan and Anthony has struck a chord with viewers, evoking their views in the comment section. Many people joked, asking, maybe delulu is just being motivated, while another person chimed in, delulu sounds better in French. Many of the followers came in to support Manan for expressing her raw and honest feelings. Comments like "love the transparency" showed how her realism resonated with her fans. Keep coming. But now, there's a new storyline taking center stage. Sumit has finally opened his very own cafe. While this should be a proud moment, the shock on his family's faces when they first walked in tells us that not everything went as smoothly as planned. Let's start by setting the scene. Sumit and Jenny have been living in India for quite some time, navigating the ups and downs of married life. Jenny has been supportive of Sumit's dreams, and she encouraged him to pursue something meaningful. After years of family conflict, financial struggles, and personal setbacks, Sumit decided to launch a cafe, hoping to build stability for their future together. Now, for many families, opening a business is a reason for celebration. But Sumit's family, especially his parents, had a very different reaction. When they first entered the cafe, they weren't just surprised, they were visibly shocked. Why? Well, part of it comes down to expectations. Sumit's parents had always wanted him to take a more traditional career path. They also didn't expect him to tie his professional identity so closely to his life with Jenny. The cafe wasn't just a business venture, it was a symbol of independence from his parents' control. The moment Sumit's family entered the cafe, viewers could feel the tension. Cameras captured their uneasy expressions as they looked around. Some family members whispered among themselves, while others asked pointed questions about the menu, the staff, and even the finances behind the cafe. One of the biggest shocks was the theme and design of the cafe. Instead of sticking to a traditional Indian style, Sumit and Jenny decorated the cafe to represent both Indian and Western influences. Jenny's touch was everywhere, from the layout of the tables to the choice of dishes on the menu. For Sumit's conservative family, this was another reminder of Jenny's strong influence over their son. But here's the thing, despite their disapproval, Sumit stood his ground. He proudly explained his vision to his parents, telling them that he wanted to create something modern, welcoming, and inclusive. Jenny, of course, stood beside him the entire time, smiling with pride. Fans of the show know that this isn't the first time Sumit's parents have reacted negatively to his choices. From refusing to accept Jenny as their daughter-in-law to openly criticizing their marriage, his family has always had strong opinions. But this cafe moment was different. It wasn't just about his marriage anymore, it was about Sumit carving out his own identity as a businessman. As the episode continued, the family began to voice their concerns. They asked whether Sumit had the experience to run a cafe, whether he had thought about the risks, and most importantly, how much money he had invested. The undertone was clear, they didn't believe in his ability to succeed. The drama escalated when Sumit's mother made a particularly cutting remark. She suggested that Sumit was wasting his life chasing unrealistic dreams. His father questioned why he didn't just find a normal job. And then came the unspoken truth: they believed Jenny had pushed him into this. Jenny, sitting right there, tried to explain that the cafe was a joint dream, not just her idea. She reminded them that Sumit had always been passionate about creating something of his own, and this cafe was his chance. But her words didn't seem to soften the family's stance. At one point, Sumit's brother shook his head in disappointment, saying the family had been embarrassed enough by his choices. The cafe, in their eyes, was another public spectacle. This sparked a heated exchange between Sumit and his family, with Sumit insisting that he was finally doing something that made him happy. Meanwhile, fans watching the episode flooded social media with their own reactions. Some viewers praised Sumit for being bold and independent, while others worried that his family's constant negativity could damage his confidence. Many fans sided with Jenny, applauding her for supporting her husband's dream despite constant criticism. By the time the family visit ended, the atmosphere was thick with tension. The parents walked out without giving their blessing, leaving Sumit and Jenny heartbroken but still determined to move forward. In the aftermath of the cafe reveal, Sumit and Jenny sat down to reflect on what had just happened. Jenny admitted that she felt hurt by the constant judgment, but she also encouraged Sumit to stay strong. For her, the cafe represented hope, a chance to build a stable life together in India, without having to rely on anyone else. Sumit, on the other hand, was visibly emotional. He confessed that while he expected some resistance, he had secretly hoped his family would be proud of him. Opening the cafe was a dream come true, but without his family's approval, it felt incomplete. Still, the couple made a promise to each other. No matter what, they would continue working hard to make the cafe a success. And judging by the buzz among fans and locals, the cafe might just become one of the most talked about spots in their community. This storyline is more than just about a cafe, it's about identity, independence, and the difficult balance between tradition and personal happiness. Sumit and Jenny's journey has always been about breaking barriers, and this cafe is the next big step. So, what's next for them? Will the cafe flourish despite the family drama? Will Sumit's parents ever come around and accept his choices? Fans will have to wait for the upcoming episodes to find out. After the shocking family visit, Sumit and Jenny threw themselves into the cafe's daily grind. Running a business was no easy task. From waking up early to shop for fresh ingredients, to finalizing the menu, to training the small staff, they were exhausted but determined. Viewers got to see a softer side of Jenny as she stood in the kitchen, learning how to brew coffee the Indian way, while Sumit cheerfully served customers at the tables. Their teamwork was undeniable, and fans quickly noticed how much effort they were putting in together. But not everyone in their community was supportive. Some locals gossiped outside the cafe, whispering things like, "Isn't that the guy who married the foreign woman? And now he's running a cafe?" Many came just to stare rather than buy anything. Still, there were moments of encouragement. A few of Sumit's friends stopped by, ordered food, and told him, "You're doing the right thing, man. At least you're trying to build something of your own." That moment hit hard, reminding Sumit and the audience that small victories can feel enormous. Soon, Sumit realized they needed more than hard work, they needed customers. Promotion was key. Jenny filmed short videos while Sumit went live on social media, proudly saying, "Friends, come visit our new cafe. We'd love to see you here." This scene warmed viewers' hearts. Fans online praised their enthusiasm, saying the cafe wasn't just a business, it was a symbol of hope and resilience. But the criticism didn't stop. An older relative visited the cafe and bluntly said, "Do you think business runs like this? Posting on Facebook and YouTube won't make you successful." Sumit felt the sting of those words, but Jenny stood firm. "Don't let it get to you. Even if they don't believe in us, we can prove. The episode then cut to a few real customers enjoying their meals, complimenting the food and coffee. Those small positive reviews were exactly the boost Sumit needed to keep going. One emotional scene showed Sumit sitting quietly in tea. Father's wishes. His father had always wanted him to get a secure office job, with a steady salary and social respect. But Sumit's dream was independence, to create something with his own hands. Jenny leaned across the table and gently said, "If you don't believe in your own dream, no one else will." Meanwhile, fans online were buzzing. Social media lit up with hashtags about Sumit's cafe. Supporters wrote, "Jenny gave him courage. Without her, he would never have taken this leap." But controversy brewed in the community. Some locals complained that the cafe felt too Western, with its mixed menu and modern decor. "This doesn't reflect our culture," one critic said. The tension escalated. It wasn't just about family anymore, society itself was beginning to challenge Sumit's decisions. Toward the end of the episode, Jenny and Sumit sat down inside the cafe after a long day. Jenny asked the most important question: who are we trying to please? Your family, the community, or ourselves? Her words hit home. She continued, "If we live just to make others happy, we'll never find peace. This cafe belongs to us. We built it together." Sumit took a deep breath and finally agreed. "Yes. From now on, I'll focus on you and me, not what everyone else says." At the same time, fans online were loving the drama, calling it more than just a storyline. "This isn't about a cafe, it's about courage, independence, and true love," one fan tweeted. The episode ended with a hopeful montage, the cafe slowly filling up with new customers, people smiling as they enjoyed the food, and positive energy beginning to replace doubt. Jenny and Sumit exchanged a tired but proud smile. Their journey was still full of challenges, but in that moment, they had something real to hold on to: each other, and a dream that was finally taking shape. The next chapter of Sumit and Jenny's cafe journey focused on the real struggles of running a small business. The excitement of the grand opening had passed, and now reality hit hard. Bills were piling up: rent, electricity, staff salaries, and the daily income wasn't always enough to cover it all. Viewers saw the stress on Sumit's face as he counted the day's earnings late at night. Jenny tried to reassure him, saying, "Every business has slow days. We just have to keep pushing forward." But the pressure was undeniable. Things became more complicated when a food critic from a local blog visited the cafe unannounced. Sumit and Jenny didn't realize who he was at first, but the cameras captured the nervousness in their eyes once they overheard him taking notes. Jenny whispered, "I hope he likes the food." Meanwhile, back at Sumit's family home, the gossip continued. His mother told relatives, "This cafe will not last. He is wasting his time and money." His father shook his head, adding, "He should have listened to us. This is not a secure life." But then came a surprising twist. The food critic's review was published, and it was positive. He praised the cafe's warm atmosphere, unique fusion menu, and the couple's passion. Overnight, the cafe's social media page lit up with new followers. People began showing up just because they had read the review. For the first time, Sumit felt a glimmer of hope. He proudly told Jenny, "This is what I've been waiting for. Finally, people see us for what we are trying to do." The episode ended on a cliffhanger, with a long shot of the cafe filled with happy customers. But just as things were beginning to look up, the preview for the next episode hinted at another storm. Family interference was far from over.